Whenever I eat Greek food, I always bring in
Don't say this.
ranch.
Oh. God damn it,
I like
dude.
to dip my
Come
euro in
on,
ranch.
dude. Ranch with Greek food. Tzatziki. Have you ever had tzatziki? We have our fucking version of ranch.
Tahini and tzatziki, I think it's a bad ranch.
No. What the are you talking about? No, you gotta go tzatziki. You can't do ranch. What are you dipping in ranch?
I like my euro in there.
I'm
or
with
I
you.
like when I have a kebab or
You gotta get tzatziki. Slightly healthier than ranch also. You can make it healthy too.
Yeah.
I know you kind of need to lose a couple pounds, so I just want to give you a couple tips.
Dude, I'm an eater though. Welcome to Games with Names. I'm Julian Edelman. They're Jack and Kyler, and we're on a mission to find the greatest game of all time. And on today's episode, we are covering the 2012 AFC Championship Game between the Patriots and the Ravens, with comedian and the pride of Baltimore, Stavros Halkias. We get into talking the Ravens versus the Patriots, the rivalry it really was.
These guys, they think they're better than us. We're just as good. That was always the vibe.
His famous Ronnie character.
Probably the greatest defensive tackle of all time. Go, next.
And how much he truly hates the Patriots.
I want nothing but bad things for Drake May. It's too soon for you guys to have a good quarterback. That's up.
And then we hit the chill line and give some advice. In this week's Chill Zone presented by Coors Light, we give advice, which don't know how that's going to go, but you guys got to stick around. Let's go. Games with Names is a production of iHeartRadio. January 20th, 2013, Gillette Stadium, Foxborough, Massachusetts.
The Ravens are facing the Patriots in an AFC Championship rematch.
But this year, there's just something about that Joe Flacco. This is the Forgotten Flacco game.
Hell yeah, dude. That was awesome.
Oh, what a guy. Hell yeah, you're fucking hilarious. Welcome to Games with Names. We have a very special guest to talk about the 2012 AFC Championship Game between the Ravens and the Patriots, with one of my favorite comics on Instagram.
Thank you, dude.
And in real life.
And in real life.
Yeah.
Well, is there a real life anymore?
Yeah, that's a great question, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I prefer real life, but yeah, I'll take Instagram.
Stavros,
Yes.
Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me, dude.
In one sentence, why did you pick this game?
I guess just because it feels good to be able to rub in a humiliating loss to a guy who was on the. I think you were probably hurt.
I was hurt
Because you weren't. I just checked back. I didn't remember you, but from that game, you didn't really remember a lot of Patriots players because you guys fucking shit the bed in a hilarious manner. But you didn't even. We talked about a couple games, but you weren't even playing. The other game we talked about, you had a good game. I didn't even want you to have that satisfaction. I would rather
Stavros, I said
Brady.
In one sentence.
Oh,
One
sorry, it's a run-up.
Oh, okay.
These are a lot of semicolons.
Oh, yeah.
They're separate clauses, but they're connected.
One tweet.
Yeah. So yeah, just there's a lot of ideas, and it's Flacco's run. It's right after the Mile High Miracle. It's right before the Super Bowl. It's just like a beautiful. It's a forgotten game in that run because it wasn't as memorable as the Super Bowl or the Mile High Miracle, but just because fuck the Patriots, man, we had to do a game where you guys fucking sucked.
Is this the greatest game of all time?
It's not, but it's a really satisfying game. You know, it's a really satisfying game because again, you don't get to tell to a player's face how shitty his team was, and it was your team being the one to do it. And I do hate the Patriots. It's tough because you are the most likable, I think, from what's
Gronk's
happened.
pretty likable.
Gronk's likable, but yeah, so's a fucking golden retriever. You know what I mean? It's like, you give fucking Gronk a little treat, he'll be good to go, dude. You give him a little buzz ball in your hand, he'll come up to you. He's easy to win over, I have a feeling. Yeah. But you know, so anyway, you're the one person I have some fondness for because you know. Just role player I like to think of my kind of entertainment career as that. Neither one of us had any business being successful in what we did. And so I respect you for that. But Still, not the greatest game. Just really just have to get on record how much I despise the teams you were on and just want to celebrate a victory over them.
You know what? I think that's the highest sign of respect
Yeah.
from a fan is when they hate your team because of how successful you are. So, like, I don't get mad at that.
Yeah.
Because I remember being a 49ers fan, and I absolutely hated the fucking Green Bay Packers.
Sure.
They used to knock us out every year in that divisional round or that fucking first round playoff. I hated it. So I understand. Where did your your sports fandom come from?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Baltimore, so this is, and I'm a fan of Baltimore teams before the Ravens existed, so that's,
So what's the rank?
I mean, now in terms of like true fandom, where it's like just tribal, you kind of turn your brain off. Yeah. You're not even like, because if we were being serious, it's like, this is a waste of all our time. Like our Sunday, we lose one day a week just on a couch doing shit. And like, we should stop. Like when there's bye weeks, I go to the park. You know what I mean? I might go to a fucking museum. Like I'm a better person when football's not on, but you just have to watch. You can't help it. You have to watch it. And so on that level, definitely the Ravens. I mean, I remember it's cool to be a little kid when the team is coming. Like I had that experience, and I was a fan of football.
How old were you?
I must have been like, we won the Super Bowl when I was in 6th grade.
Yeah.
So I was pretty young. I don't remember. It was like, and I remember I went to like a punt, pass, and kick when the fucking Vinny Testaverde and Matt Stover were there. Like I was the demographic to get won over by this team, and like, the shitty weird like logo that we had that was bad. I remember them thinking about calling us the Baltimore Americans or like the Baltimore Brown. Like we got saved. Ravens is the best, name we could have gotten. So it's like, that's how it started. And in terms of like overall, I mean, I like the O's but I don't really, baseball's kind of.
It's tough. You got
the guys are talented, but I just want to fuck it. It's there to drink a beer and eat a hot dog.
But it's changed. Like the new rules of baseball is awesome for TV because it keeps it going. But like you said, when you go to a baseball game, you want to drink a beer and eat a hot dog, and you pray for the longest game possible because you're in like 3rd, 7th grade, and your mom's there. And if you get there too late, maybe you get the next day off. Now they have no chance of getting past 3.5 hours. But yeah, Orioles. I used to love the Giants.
Sure, yeah.
Cal Ripken Jr.
He's the man. I mean, that's the other thing. That's why the O's still have some fondness, because like before the Ravens, I had those Cal teams, and like they were fucking. It was so weird to go from the Ravens or the Orioles being awesome to they were just dog shit until my senior year of high school. That was the year they were like, they led the AL East out of nowhere, and then we fucking collapsed. And so that was the last time that I like believed in the Orioles. And then it happened. We lost to KC when they went on to win the World Series. So I'll always have some fondness for them. But in terms of the day-to-day, it's also just easier. Like I've learned football is so smart in how they kind of schedule things. Because just what we were saying earlier, one day a week, even when you're busy, you can commit to one day a week. Yeah. And you can watch fucking Thursday Night Football on your phone if you need to, whatever. But like, actually, my favorite sport is probably basketball, but once I started getting busy, it's kind of hard to follow.
It's impossible to follow
these big
sports.
There's way too many fucking games, dude.
That's why I love football, like you said, schedule-wise.
Yeah. And
there's no first pitch.
Yeah.
I've heard about your first pitch. Sam hit me up and said, your first
Not
pitch.
bad. It wasn't videographed well, but you can't really tell, but it was fucking heat right down the middle.
It was heat?
Yeah, right down the middle, dude. I think they must have slowed down the video they published, because in the moment, I remember the fucking girl that was catching being like, that fucking, she had to go see the team doctor afterwards. They had her fingers in splints. I was right down the middle. I would say probably 98, 97.
97, 98.
Yeah, something like that.
You iced her up after?
Yeah, I was like, my bad, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I remember when I threw this touchdown pass. Remember the double pass?
I do remember.
And that was the ball.
I do unfortunately remember that.
So, like you throwing that 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, this is dangerous to give to me. Aldous, where's the incinerator?
Don't Putin this, Bubs. I'm just showing you. No, but right after I came into the team meeting on Monday, we're all having fun. We're watching the thing, and I was like the last one to walk into the office. Into the office. I taped up my arm because always the quarterbacks after a big day tape up their arm. I threw one pass. I came in like, All right, guys, everyone started laughing. It was fucking,
Yeah. No, that was fucking horrible. That was bullshit.
You're a big basketball guy.
Yeah.
You had a podcast with my boy Sam Morrell.
He's the man.
Who's a bigger ball guy? You or Sam? Because you guys are both Knicks fans.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. Sam, kind of the love I have for the Ravens, it's like for Sam, he has channeled that into the Knicks. Because it's like, I love the Knicks. So my fandom is a little complicated where I didn't have a team growing up for basketball, and I could never root for the Wizards because DC and Baltimore is just a different thing.
It is.
You know what I mean? It's sort of like Bay Area stuff where it's like
Oakland, San Fran.
Exactly. Everyone has their own. Even like Sacramento, Oakland, San Fran. All those places are pretty close, but it's totally different fandoms. Where it's like DC and Baltimore are such different cities. Where I was like, oh yeah,
that was great.
No worries, man. I'm a pro, dude.
You are.
Yeah, I know how to pod, dude.
Good, dude.
I do this. I just do this in my. I'm not even awake right now.
I was gonna say I know because I've been cutting you. I've been cutting you off. Sorry.
No. So I could never root for them. So my fandom would go to like the cooler teams. Like I would really connect to certain teams. I was a big those Kings. The Vlade Divac.
I love
Chris
those
Webber.
Kings. Everyone did. I was a shitty Warriors fan at that time.
For sure. But you guys were so bad back then.
So bad. Sprewell was choking out the coach.
Yeah, which is cool.
It was kind of cool. I had his jersey because of it. But the Kings were hot that time.
They were fucking cool.
With Reb and Baby and
they were so fucking good. Yeah, Jason Williams before they traded Baby, but I always gravitated to some cool team would like win my affection for a few years. But then once Giannis came into the league, I am such a huge Giannis fan. I mean, it's like to have a Greek basketball player be one of the best players in the world, and at times in the last few years, the best player in the world. And even with what Jokic is doing, I just think like Giannis, even making that team halfway decent it's insane how fucking good he is. And so he's probably my favorite athlete right now. And in terms of basketball rankings, he's my guy. I always like to keep up with him. But Sam Morrell has been like a Knicks fan for fucking ever.
Will Pod Don't Lie ever come back?
I don't think so, man. Unfortunately, it's not financially viable.
Real seam heads know.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't pod for the love of the game. We do it for a paycheck.
Yeah. So do you remembered when the Ravens moved in?
Yeah.
That whole thing. Is it safe to say that pretty much even this game that we're about to talk to is pretty much based off the foundational success of what Bill Belichick was building in Cleveland?
No chance. No way.
And then went to Baltimore.
Yeah, I don't think no.
And then
it's just based on,
and
I guess.
Ozzie Newsome.
Yeah, Ozzie.
That was a Patriot guy.
Was he? How long was he with Bill?
I mean, I think Bill was part of the guys that drafted him early, but in the Giant, there's like some real crazy connections to that. So
I don't really see it that way at all, actually.
Roots
I don't see it
in
even
Baltimore.
a little bit. It's kind of like here's the thing about you guys are fucking nerds. The do your job shit fucking sucks. And by the way, you're just lucky that Tom Brady, why the fuck did he accept pay cuts from cheap ass Robert Kraft? That motherfucker should have opened up the playbook. Yeah, you fucking prick. He underpaid Brady, his whole and maybe that's why he had to keep playing and his marriage dissolved. Maybe honestly, the Patriots ruined Tom Brady's life. They milked him for all he's worth, and then they're like, Tom, get back fucking out there. You know, all he had was football, so his beautiful family's destroyed now. Maybe there's a little bit of the Ravens that the Patriots helped, perhaps. They've definitely ruined their best players' lives, though. I mean, you guys are in shambles right now.
He was in Tampa at that time.
Yeah, but it's gone. He had to keep playing.
He was in Tampa.
All he had, you soaked him for everything.
He got divorced in Tampa.
Yeah,
not in New England.
That's
why he wasn't in New England.
That was what was keeping it together?
I don't know. I'm not getting in that one.
I love that the Patriots are it pisses me off that you might. No offense to fucking. I feel bad rooting against the kid you guys drafted because he is awesome, but I want nothing but bad things for Drake May. And just because it's too soon for you guys to have a good quarterback, that's fucked up. And also, I hate that you made the right call, and because I do think that Vrabel's just so fucking perfect. Now, I'm stupid, though, so the fact that I like all of this might mean it also is going to fail, and that's what I'm crossing my fingers on. Because, I'm enjoying you guys being in shambles. Again, you're the most successful one with the best life. How hilarious is that? You know what I mean?
There's Tom Brady. He's pretty...
He's fucking blowing it in the booth, and you know it. Zoom in on Edelman's face when I said that.
He's killing it.
Yeah. There's a hard cut when I said that. We just go to fucking me. Oh, the cameras are down. He's blowing it. Fucking Belichick is basically Robert De Niro's character for Bad Grandpa at this point. The fuck is he doing on the beach, dude? Why are you so proud of fucking that shit? His girlfriend wasn't even alive when they won their first Super Bowl, dude. Now he's podcasting and going to He's probably took the college job so his girlfriend would have people her age to talk to. She's got no one right now. So I'm enjoying the Patriots crumbling, basically. And, you know, hey, if drafting Ozzie Newsome led to all that, maybe it's worth it, man. Maybe it's worth it.
Wow.
You want to get into the game? I got more. It's up to you, actually.
So what was a young Stav like growing up?
Yeah, dude, I just fucking... You're a great guy, but I hate the Patriots.
Hey. I would too.
And it's like... It even like seeps into like how much I hate every Boston team and thing, but whatever. Great town for comedy. I think I'm going to be there on the second half of the Dreamboat Tour. Yeah. Let's plug that. The first half of the Dreamboat Tour is out now, folks. Grab some tickets. Where are we going next?
It's an awesome tour. I went with my mother and saw it. Stav killed it. The crowd work was insane. He actually called on a guy to do some kind of dad stuff. The guy ended up dying.
Yeah.
His dad was dead, and then another guy
we had double dead dads.
Double dead dads in the audience. The two people he calls out of like 8,000, 10,000 people, both dads dead.
Thank God all the CTE, you can't do math. There was like 2,000 people there.
Like, I was trying to pump the number for
I'm not
you,
a stadium
bro.
act, guys. It's a 2,000 seat
for
theater.
You guys. Trying to pump the number. Pumping the number.
I wish I was selling 10,000. I wouldn't be here if I was selling 10,000 tickets a day, I'll tell you that much. I'd be in a fucking mansion fucking ignoring your calls.
Well, then it's suiting for me to tell the story about when I was in the parking lot and I pissed on your tour bus.
No, not the tour bus, dude.
No, literally.
I love my bus.
So I'm leaving your show. My mom's there, and I'm with my boys, Big House, and we see your big ass fucking bus. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, that thing's badass. Green?
It rules. Yeah, it's like a little some kind of blue green type thing.
Blue green. Mm-hmm. And so I see it, and I gotta piss like a racehorse, but there was a lot of people in there. So, but you guys had a cool setup where it was a private little little
you used
setup.
The bus for shelter.
Yeah. And so I'm like, Mom, my mom's smoking a stove.
Love that.
Out in the back of my car. My boy's watching out. I open up passenger door.
Don't get it on your shoes, Jules.
Yes. Pretty good. So I do the old passenger door. Yeah. You open the passenger door, you piss like you're like, and then there's a dude walking, so I'm like looking for something in the side door, but also pissing on my shoe. While I'm zipping up.
Yeah.
I walk out, and I'm like, Mom, we gotta get the fuck out of here. I think someone saw.
Yeah.
And she throws out her, and Blake Griffin, while I'm zippering my fucking... Blake Griffin drives by, and he's like, yo. I'm like, oh, what's up, Blake? What's good? So, awesome show.
Thank you, man.
Awesome show.
All the
now,
stars
how did you
were
get
out.
it? How did you get into comedy? Did you, like, being a, son of immigrant folks from Greece, living in Baltimore... I've always been close. I've been close with a few comics. There was some kind of traumatic something.
Yeah.
What was that traumatic thing that brought you to comedy?
I know there was one big. I start crying. I'm like, well, I don't really like to talk about this in public. Just the mood completely shifts. No, there was not one.
Why did you get into comedy?
There was not one. I wasn't molested in a way that made it happen. I would say little bits of day-to-day trauma, nothing crazy. Immigrant family, no one knows how to communicate, no one knows how to talk when they're fucking pissed off. And then you go to Baltimore City Public Schools where I'm just like, I grew up in such a gentle way because my parents, the beginning, I was a test tube baby. It took them forever to have kids. So I was like the bubble boy where they didn't let me out and do shit. I wanted to play Pop Warner, but they wouldn't let me. Actually, probably correctly. Like, they didn't want me they were just scared of a little kid.
Why correctly?
I mean, I think you know why. But yeah, I know you're on the payroll, so we won't get into it. But your fucking Goodell hits your shock collar. You can't talk about it.
Games of names.
There's no evidence that it's worse than heading a soccer ball. Okay, it's not fucking worse. Little ass kids ramming their heads into each other. But anyway, we don't need to go into
Proper
it.
technique. Bite the ball. Head up. So no Pop Warner.
So no Pop Warner, but then you go to Baltimore City Public Schools where it's like they were like really. I was a very like well-mannered. Like it's hilarious how different I became, and then you're just everyone. It's just everyone shitting on each other. It's like, public school is just people, and you're like a chubby little white guy. You know what I mean? You just have to learn real quick, be funny, or you will be everyone will just shit on you forever. And so sports are actually really helpful too, because like once I started playing, I played soccer, but then in high school I did play football, and I wrestled and I played a little lacrosse. But I just loved the camaraderie of the team and like the ball busting nature of it. So I think just going to public school in like kind of shitty areas, and then just growing up in a kind of shitty area, and just it was a way to like humor was always like a diffusion thing, I think, for me, whether it's a tense moment at home or out at school, and then it became a way of like, oh, I guess I'm good at this and it's getting me attention, and then that's it, man. You just do everything we do is for just some sort of attention.
Now, when was it your first time that you got a shot and you're like, man, I think I finally made it?
That's weird, dude, because like what happened to me was one day I was randomly in Vegas shooting a short film that, it was fun, but it's not like it wasn't a big deal. It was just I wanted to kind of practice acting. I was losing money doing it. And I'm just walking in Vegas. This is like, I don't know, when that first tour was starting, and just people started coming up to me and being like that. My career changed because I started posting on the internet in a way that I never thought. Like everyone, usually you have the story of like you get cast in something, they see you in something. Back in the day, it was like you do a Tonight Show and you're a star the next night. None of that happened to me, dude. It was like, I had a podcast that was pretty successful 10 years ago that I started with some friends, and there would be like specific weird internet people that knew me, but then like I started posting these like reels because everybody else was doing it, and I was putting a YouTube special out, and like 4 months into that, dude, I was like, I think I'm probably less famous now than I was at the height of those go. For whatever reason, the algorithm I was stuck in there. And that, weirdly, shout out to YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and fucking Reels, who now have kind of slowed down on my stuff. But there was a golden 6 months where I was fucking everywhere. And that really was what started. And I think I was lucky that I think my stuff's good. And if you see it, if you like discover me that way, I think there's a high percentage of people that like came to my shows, and then my shows were good and something different than that. So I think I just was lucky to have to pop at the right time when I had enough stuff for people to go check out.
Hell yeah. And I mean, it's gotten you all the way to the point, popping off on the internet to where you're writing your own movies. Let's start a cult.
Yeah,
that's why you brought in the cult. You brought in cult at the beginning of our thing. Maybe
no, I don't think so. I think I just
you
said
did.
it.
You called Patriots fan like a cult.
Oh, yeah. Well, it is.
Yeah.
A cult of dorks.
Yeah.
A cult of dorks, yeah. It's cool when people showboat, by the way. Do your job sucks. It's cooler to fucking spike and do cool dances and do minor crimes.
I think it's cooler when, you do yoga poses with your girlfriend on the beach.
Yeah, dude, that's cool. You see that fucking picture, the first thing you think of is cool.
Kind of, maybe if you say it like that. Cool.
Oh, nice. Great job, Bill.
Yeah, so
McAfee's panicking, thinking about how he's going to spin that on his next. He sees that picture, like, all right, let's get in the fucking writer's room. Figure this out.
McAfee's killing it.
He's the man. No,
he's fucking great.
He's the man. He's so funny.
He has a really great perspective because the kickers and punters see everything the locker room from afar.
Yeah.
When like the team is coming in and out of meetings, because they don't have that many meetings. They're
Totally.
like their work capacity is not that much.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of just chilling for them.
Yeah.
And his experiences from what he saw, I mean, it's very true. The punter and kicker, they see everything because they're in all the meetings.
Yeah.
They're watching the locker room. They're watching the weight room. They have full like VIP pass to everywhere, and they're on the team.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's the perfect. It almost was weirdly training to be like an embedded journalist because you're there, and he was fucking. He's
great at talking.
He's great at talking, and he's like great. There's like a few punters you remember growing up, and it's like he was definitely one of them.
His little thing, his little McGregor walk.
Yeah.
He was a flary punter.
He really was, yeah. And so, but yeah, it made so much sense, and that show's fucking great, obviously.
Now, traveling on the road, you're on tour right now. Is there I saw your big green bus. You take that everywhere? It just
pretty much. I mean, this is the first bus tour. This is the first year I'm rolling Madden style. Full. Yeah, it fucking rules, dude. I'm trying to. Every tour would just ruin me, dude, because it's so you have access to the best stuff.
Yeah,
it's just like you could just get and I was just getting really fucked up. I was just like eating, you just eat whatever the fuck you want. It's just such a hedonistic lifestyle if you want that and if that's your thing, and that is my thing. I mean, I like fucking having a good ass time, and it would just fuck me up so bad. And this is before the bus. This is when we were like flying places, and you'd be fucking hungover and just taking whatever just to kind of get through the day. And so I just decided this tour, I had gained 30 pounds on every tour, and it's just been creeping up. And I'm not a young man anymore. And it's just I had to get the bus. We got a little fridge stocked with Costco meats in there. I'm eating the pre-sliced Costco.
Let's go.
London broiler, whatever the fuck, sirloin with some fucking canned beans. We're living real divorced dad style in that fucking bus right now. But the macros are pretty good, and if I get 2 to 3 good meals, and then if we have a couple slutty meals a week, that's not the end of the world.
No. Now, do you sleep on this bus?
Sleep on the bus, dude. You fucking at night. It's like time travel. You just we were in Phoenix last night, and I woke up in Burbank this morning.
Is it comfy bed?
Dude, it rules. You're so it's the feeling of being a little ass kid, and your parents putting you in a car seat, and you're just for a ride until you go to sleep. It's incredible. I didn't think I would like it, and then I did. Bert Kreischer had a tour a couple years ago, and I did a weekend on it, and I slept incredible. I sleep better there than I did on we got this gorgeous Airbnb in LA last time I was here. Way worse than the fuck. We were missing the bunks. It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, and then nowadays everything's on the internet. You could just watch TV on your iPad, or you got TVs.
You got 2 TVs going. It's nice. It's fun.
It's better to travel. I love taking when I would go from Boston to New York. I love taking the train.
The Amtrak's the best.
Amtrak's
yes,
easy.
I love it.
And you got Wi-Fi. You can knock out. It's the same amount of time, damn near, because it takes you an hour to get to the airport, hour back in the city, hour flight.
And it's cheap. No one's fucking hassling you. You can smuggle things through the train. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's easy.
Now, what's into these slutty meals? What's a slutty meal?
What's our slut? I mean, yesterday, what did we do?
Where'd you go?
I mean, just a nice fucked up breakfast burrito. When you add so much shit, a $13 entree ends up being $29 somehow.
Well, that's just in general.
Yeah, that's true. But we're talking meats, guac, fries in the burrito, all that kind of shit.
Fry in the burrito guy?
Yeah, we had for sure.
For a breakfast burrito? That's a California burrito.
Yeah. I tip my cap to
Are you chorizo or are you bacon?
Depends on the mood I'm in.
Yeah.
I opted for steak plus chorizo yesterday. Steak plus chorizo. I got wild. That's what I'm saying. I got fucking insane. I did a $30 breakfast burrito with every dip and sauce available.
I'm a big dipper too.
You gotta dip. You gotta sauce things up. It can take things to the next level.
Always. Mm-hmm. Some people think it's trashy. I just think it's...
Fuck that, dude. Yeah. It's trashy to use dips to fucking live a little.
I like putting A1 sauce on my white rice.
Okay.
That's how... I like
maybe
A1
I see where they're
sauce.
coming from. A1 sauce is dog shit. A1 sauce is when people are well, I'm not going to use ketchup. I'm not an animal. Let's get A1. You know what I mean? It's trash trying to be classy. No offense.
No, I know. It is.
A1 you got to let go of. Any other dip, I'm with you. I hate to immediately stab you in the back.
Are you ranch guy? Whenever
I'm a big ranch guy. And that is trashy too, so maybe I'm a hypocrite here.
Whenever I eat Greek food, I always bring in
Don't say this.
ranch.
Oh. God damn it,
I like
dude.
to dip my Euro in ranch.
Dude, ranch with Greek food? Tzatziki. Have you ever had tzatziki? We have our fucking
I
version
think
of ranch.
tahini and tzatziki, I think it's a bad ranch.
No. What the fuck are you talking about? We don't even, tahini's not even us. That's more of the Middle East. We're, right on the other side. But no, you got to go tzatziki. You can't do ranch. What are you dipping in ranch?
I just or a hot sauce. I like to put like a different hot sauce. I like my Euro in there. I like when I have a kebab or
You got to get tzatziki. You might just be going to a place with bad tzatziki.
There's some great shit out here.
Now, what kind of ranch? Because this is important too.
There's a ranch here in LA. I forgot what it's called, but it's a mom and pop ranch.
Okay, you might be winning me about. And
comes in like a mayonnaise looking thing. Oh yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. It goes bad after a week. That's how you know
that's
it's
a
good
real
ranch.
sauce. All right. Then maybe there's some space.
This ranch is killer. And they got a great blue cheese that I always have to get for Rob because he loves blue cheese.
Yeah. I get that. All right. I'm going to have to try this ranch before I come in with the ultimate, deciding whether that's trashy or not.
I use that ranch with everything.
Okay.
I like ranch.
That is good. Yeah, pizza and ranch, fine.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about that. But we have Middle Eastern food, whether it's like any kebab style cuisine, has their own garlic sauce.
I know.
You just have to tap into the right one.
I like those garlic sauces. Like the garlic sauce that they always give you. It's just a little too much garlicky.
See, that's more of the pure Middle East. That's why I'm saying tzatziki. You just haven't given tzatziki a chance.
I got to get to tzatziki.
Like good tzatziki. The way I do it, it's just full fat Greek yogurt, good olive oil. You fucking plain. You hit the garlic in a zester, so it's fucking tiny as shit.
Yeah.
Really gets in there. And then just salt and pepper. I don't even fuck with cucumbers because cucumbers don't hold as well. And this is just a very nice garlicky, slightly healthier than ranch. Also, you can make it healthy too.
Yeah.
I know you kind of need to lose a couple pounds, so I just want to give you a couple tips.
Dude, I'm an eater though. I love food.
But anyway, we tapped into sauces. This is when at every podcast, whenever some kind of food item comes up, I will go off for 12 minutes uninterrupted. So we can move on.
8 minutes. That was 8 minutes.
We can move on, but I do love a sauce, and I would just say try a more authentic tzatziki. The ranch, I see where you're coming from, though. Your heart is in the right place.
Right place. So you have the Costco cold cuts on the bus. There's got to be some fun stories coming from the everyday life stuff. Like when you're in the locker room doing a fucking trick on one of your boys or a prank on one of your boys. When you're around people for so long, there's got to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, though, because we are trying to be just
pros.
We're trying to just be a little better this time. You know what I mean? It is kind of locker roomy because it's, I travel with my tour manager is my boy Eldest, we've been friends since we were literally 5 years old. And then everybody else, we had a buddy of mine come on. He's our nutrition expert. He just is our friend who was fat as shit in college and now isn't. He has no other credentials, and he has an online job, so he can work from the bus sometimes. So it's people I've known for years. So it's just we've settled into such a rhythm that it's so comfortable. It's not even that pranking, fucking. We kind of got that out of our system so long ago. Now it's just a steady stream of insults, and just sort of getting high in the bus and watching Friday After Next. Just kind of we're running through the whole Ice Cube filmography right now.
They 20s, not A16s. Yeah, but they clean.
Dude, it's good shit.
I used to love those Fridays. All right, can you build me a starting 5 basketball team with comics?
Ooh, wow, this is very interesting. Who's the tall? All right, let's
Sammy
start with
Morrell.
size. Sam's got to be there.
He's got to be in there.
Gary Goldman? He's big. He's 6'7".
Tight end in Boston College.
Tight end, yeah.
He came on the show?
Yeah. Oh, sick. I love Goldman. And a legend, one of the best, a completely underrated comedian who is just such a, just his writing is so good. And not just on a granular joke by joke level, but it's all connected. And he's somebody that, when you grow as a comic, he was definitely an inspiration. But he's 6'7", he can shoot. We could use the size. That's not a bad front court. I guess I have to be on the team. I have to be the floor general. I'll be running point, setting a lot of meaty picks. Yeah, a lot of the guy you don't see me coming, bro. I am the pick guy for real. And I weigh 300 pounds, so it's that's a If
They
you don't
ain't
see it
moving
coming, yeah. I've had very large, strong men be shocked at what it felt like to bump into me. So that's kind of my number one strength on the court. And then, who do we?
Adam Sandler.
Ooh, the Sandman. That's
Sandman.
huge. That's huge. I love what we're doing here. All right, I guess let's finish the theme of Jews and me. Who's the fourth? How about Rick Glassman? He brags about being great at basketball. I've never seen it, but he's a very honest autistic man, so I'll take it.
Does Blake Griffin count?
Blake has done comedy. All right, we're gonna get him converted. We're gonna get him double circumcised, and we're gonna put him on the team. So it's gonna be me, Blake, Gary Goldman, Sam Morril, and the Sandman. I love that. That's a great team.
I think you would actually do pretty well.
Not a bad team. There's one part of the team that could maybe use a little sprucing up, but he set some great picks.
Great picks.
He set some great picks.
Like little Deladova?
Yeah, exactly. I'm an effort guy. I'm Deladova.
All right, let's get into a segment where we go back into time around where the game took place. We go over some of the pop culture. This game took place January 20th, 2013. Number one movie, The Hobbit. You like those?
I like the original ones. I have not seen the Hobbit franchise.
Seen The Hobbit?
No.
I haven't either.
I'll throw them on someday.
Number one song, Locked Out of Heaven, Bruno Mars.
It's bringing me back.
Is it bringing you back?
Yeah.
What was a young Stavvy in 2013 like? Is this a before we're popping off? We're still in the grind?
Definitely not. We are not popped off at all. 2013, yes. In fact, I remember this year, I would be very, very shortly, my college girlfriend would break up with me because I was doing too much comedy and not paying any attention to her. In fact, I watched this game in her living room while she was just like mad at me in her bedroom. So I remember this pretty vividly. I was about to have to move back in with my parents. Shit was not going good for me in 2013. I was about to get a paralegal job by lying about my credentials. Yeah, it was like, but I was actually having a pretty good time. Like the Ravens were on a heater. Flacco mania was sweeping Baltimore. It was, and I see here that was the year Giannis got drafted. That was huge. Yep. That was awesome.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that, yeah.
You knew who he was before?
I didn't, no, but anytime a Greek player gets a first round rate, like, and this is when I was really into hoops, like, so I was following all that stuff. So I was really pumped, and I was just anytime any Greek guys on a radar. So I was paying attention.
What's the Mount Rushmore Greeks? Of
just Greeks total? Alexander the Great, I guess, is kind of up there. Let's see here. I guess like
Giannis. You got to be in there.
What's that?
Giannis has got to be.
Giannis is there for sure.
For
sports, for sure. I guess like Plato.
Came up with some good shit.
Kind of like the basis of how we kind of think about everything, I guess. We got that down. And then, whoever invented the pork gyro. That guy's number 4. The first Greek guy to fucking throw a little tzatziki and shaved pork on a pita bread, he's number 4.
The guy who invented the little thing that you put the garlic in to make it really fine.
Yeah. The guy who minced garlic the best.
So that's the Mount Rushmore of Greeks. What's the Mount Rushmore of freaks?
Ooh, a freak. Oh, damn. This is going to get you fucking age restricted. I can't give my true answers, but do you have a Patreon feed? We can do it there.
This was the New Orleans Saints Bounty Gate.
That's right.
You remember that?
I do remember
Greg
that.
Wilson?
Yeah, this was
Greg Williams.
It was interesting watching because I went back and watched a few highlights from this year just to kind of get in the zone, and it really does feel like the last gasp of really fucking people up on television.
Well, you saw in this specific game where people like Ray got called on one, and then we didn't get called on one where it was like, and then clearly like nowadays those would have been penalties. There was a couple guys getting hit near the out of bounds. I'm like, oh my, where's the flag? And there was no flag.
Yeah, totally. It really was shocking. Tom Brady tried to fucking kick. I don't know if you.
Yeah, he cleated a guy.
Yeah, not a guy. Ed Reed, the greatest defensive player of all time. He tried to kind of cleat him, kind of dirtily on a slide.
No, he was
Who the fuck slides like this, dude?
He was
Mac
protecting
Jones
himself.
No, he wasn't.
You
No,
see
it
what
wasn't.
happened to Trevor Lawrence this year?
Yeah,
you
fucking
go in,
Brady had
you
a
go-
time machine and looked forward to what happened to Trevor Lawrence
You
this
see what
year.
happened to Trevor Lawrence? He goes down like this. Nothing. Tom
It's insane how high his fucking leg is. He looks like a rocket.
going into second.
Sliding, dude. He almost kicks him in the jaw. Anyway, but it was a good. Yeah, this was a fucking. This is taking. I remember exactly where I was in my life.
Adrian Peterson. What happened in the sports world?
Yeah, we win. Adrian Peterson MVP. That was cool.
This is Peyton Manning's first year at the Broncos. You mentioned earlier, My Hall Miracle, Bountygate. You mentioned also. This was the first year suffixes were allowed on NFL jerseys. Shout out to Steve Smith Sr.
That's right.
He was the first one.
There's a group, but yeah.
Oh yeah, suffix.
And that's a hilarious one when he chose Steve Smith rules, but it is like, really, they're confusing you with your 4-year-old son. You have to be Steve Smith Sr.
Have you met Steve?
No, but he's the man.
He's the man.
He was so good. When he came, I was pumped. We had a couple really, we have a nice, history of getting these guys who are established, but also you're like, oh yeah, that guy should have been a fucking Raven his whole career.
Yeah.
He really felt like one of those guys. Even when we got McNair for that one season where we lost to Peyton Manning, he was the fucking man. And he was like, it was like, even though he used to be our rival, he's one of the first guys I remember hate. Before, this is again how old, it feels crazy to feel this old, but when the divisions were different and we were in the Titans division, they were a big rival of ours. Yeah. But it was that year I really thought we were going to fucking win.
That Cam Ward kid reminds me of Steve McNair.
Yeah, that's interesting.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Orlowski said something. I'm not saying that. He said that, and then I started watching. I was like, that does really look like McNair.
That's cool.
Bit.
That's also the problem of whenever you get those comparisons are dangerous because then you just remember how much you love the guy they're comparing him to. It's like, oh, this guy's gonna be good. And then
you fabricate on really
totally.
Oh, he kind of really does run like him.
Yeah.
But he's not him. Hopefully he does.
Well, we'll see.
Turn out like him.
It's just different because fucking McNair came from where? That's the weird thing. These guys have so much hype on them so early.
That's tough.
It doesn't allow them to just kind of. Where did McNair play? Somewhere hilarious.
He was like a 1AA, right?
Alcorn State University.
Alcorn State. You know what I mean? A guy with that kind of talent. Maybe if he had the microscope on him from the beginning, it wouldn't have worked out. But the fact that he got this sort of no pressure ease into it, because this quarterback class seems I don't follow the draft stuff as much as I like to just watch the games. I really have settled into just being a fucking dumbass fan who's just my team's good, the other team's bad with no other research. But it seems like the QB class is kind of thin, and whenever that happens, you get guys who might have been good players if they were picked in the second or third round that aren't number one picks. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's crazy now. You said he came from a smaller school, Steve McNair. I don't think you're going to see as much of that nowadays.
Yeah.
Because look at all these quarterbacks. They've all transferred 5 different schools. You have one good year and a 1AA. You're going to Florida the next year.
For sure.
You're going, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a free agency world.
Right. Yeah,
which is, it's kind of sad because you're not going to see maybe the Josh Allens that come out of the Wyomings or the McNairs that come out of the 1AAs.
Right.
Let's jump into this game.
Let's do it.
So this 2012 Patriots team went 12-4. This was the 13th year for Coach Bill Belichick. They had lost the year prior to the New York Giants in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. But that was a heartbreaker for us. Where
the field goal to tie the game.
Yeah,
not to win the game,
because Lee Evans fucking missed it, motherfucker. That's why. Don't fucking
tie the game.
Don't fucking sweep that under the rug.
Sterling Moore,
that was in his fucking hands.
Sterling Moore,
he blew it so hard, and he sucked. By the
Moore.
way, Lee Evans was not good that whole year, and it was just like, wow, is he gonna redeem himself? No, he's gonna fucking blow it.
Sterling Moore.
No, he
Punch.
fucking should have caught that, and we should have tied.
All right, but
that was so annoying. But at least you lost to the Giants, so that's one thing. That does give you the annoying. It's kind of like chess, where it's like. At least we beat you in this one, and then I know losing to fucking Eli twice must fucking kill the whole team, especially Brady. It must
hurts.
fucking
it hurts
hurt, dude. Yeah,
it's got to
hurt.
So
it's good. So in the long run, we made a sacrifice. But anyway, this was our revenge on that fucking dog shit game. We should have won 2 different ways.
So we've kind of got. I want to clear it up.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of heard it, but what's your perception of this specific Patriots generation team?
It's tough because Randy Moss was my favorite player before we had the Ravens. Like I would love those Vikings teams, and being a little ass kid, being like, oh, purple to purple, great. You know what I mean? Like I remember. Here's how much I still had a little fondness for Randy in particular is when we beat who was it? The Raiders? I don't remember who the AFC Championship was. The first championship.
2000. No, that was the Patriots. Or that probably was the Raiders.
Either the Raiders. Anyway, I know we played the Raiders. They were good as fuck. That's who everybody thought was going to win. We might have played the
Raiders, 16-3.
Yep. Yeah. So the other side was the Giants, Vikings, and part of me, being a little kid, was like, I hope the Vikings win. So then both my teams are in this. Like that's how much I loved Randy Moss because you're a little kid. That guy's fucking. It's incredible.
Freak.
And at any time, I have his Raiders Randy Moss jersey actually. And so that was tough because it was the first time I had to root for, and you weren't like at this, it wasn't the Death Star yet. You hadn't won enough Super Bowls, but it was still annoying. It was still like,
it was still 3.
We want to beat you guys. And we hadn't won until by this point we had a pretty nice rivalry, like kind of jumped off by that game we didn't talk about your rookie year. That was we always played the.
This was a rivalry.
Patriots
That's
close,
what people don't realize.
It really,
because we would play each other because we always won our divisions in the regular season.
Yeah.
So all the ones play each other in the regular season, and then we would always play each other in the playoffs. And the Baltimore Ravens were never scared to come to Foxborough. There was teams that used to shit their pants when they had to drive on Highway 1 and get up in there where we used to play the game. Baltimore came in 2009. They didn't give a fuck. They beat our ass right when the jump of that game. Yep. They came in.
That first quarter was one of the best moments of my life. Again, and I remember that. This is how bad my life was at the time. I think I have an extra semester. I conned some small business to give me. I interview really well, but I'm bad at every job I ever get. And so
good interview.
I had finished school and I didn't I was on scholarship and I didn't graduate, and I got an internship with some local business consortium that paid for tuition, and I had no money. They were just covering barely anything. So I watched this game. I couldn't afford to go to a bar or do anything. I was a super senior going to a fucking dorm rec room and just eating free Papa John's. And so it was just me alone, just shoveling Papa John's into my mouth. But that first quarter was I'm just alone with a bunch of dork at other losers who are 18 instead of 20 whatever, who have an excuse to be there. But fucking seeing us steamroll the Patriots in that first in a game we shouldn't have won. You guys were great that year.
We were great, but we got hurt.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Wes got hurt, and that was a big part of our offense.
It still was. Oh yeah, who should have stepped up to fill that void? Who could have?
I balled out that game.
Well, yeah, that's what
I'm not gonna lie, but it wasn't enough.
What was the score when you got your first touchdown? 24-0?
It was something like that.
Yeah. Anyway,
it was an ass whooping.
Anyway, the point is, I hated this team. It was not. They weren't quite the level of. After the Falcons game, it's fuck these motherfuckers, man. They get this too. They get a sick comeback. That was when it was I'll never want anything good to happen to the Patriots for 20 years. But back then it was just, they're good as shit. No, everyone seems to be, I always felt we were as good in that same, when your team is never scared to go into anywhere and they play tough defense and they can play with anyone, it gives you that confidence as a fan to be yeah, fuck it, dude. Any game we can win. And I always felt like we were at the level of the best teams in the NFL. Those Ravens teams. And I think getting one Super Bowl kind of validates that. It's it's just hard as shit to win Super Bowls. So the fact that we even scraped one out of there in the midst of your run and all these other great teams, Peyton and those Broncos teams, all that shit happened kind of in the top teams in the league were good as fuck. And I always felt with sometimes you could argue inferior talent across the roster, we're just that's what I love about the Ravens, man. We just put together a fucking insane team. And yeah, there's stars at the top, but we make just whoever comes into our system become really good, usually defensive players, but it's even started being, I think our offense obviously has gotten a lot better in recent years. But so yeah, that's what I remember. It was just fuck these guys. They think they're better than us. we're just as good. That was always the vibe.
What are your thoughts on the Boston fans as a whole?
I mean, one of the most coddled generations of fans of all time. Lucky as shit. They think they're like, that's the thing. They need to feel pain. This fucking sucks. The Celtics can't keep winning. You can't get a good fucking quarterback again. It sucks. You deserve 40 years of 0
You said 20
16.
though.
That's what. Okay,
You
I
said 20 years.
At 20, I would start being like, this is a little much. I hope these guys win a
So
little bit.
how many years are we into that sentence then? We're like, got to be 6, 5,
Six.
all right. So
But
Celtics won a championship last year.
Celtics reset the whole thing.
so
yeah.
then it resets.
It resets
But, all right.
to
okay.
20 again.
So are the Patriots your most hated team?
Steelers?
You hate the Steelers?
Yeah, I stay the Steelers more probably, just from that, again, just the classic local
Division
rival. The Steelers shit, and then, but
Cincinnati?
not really. I mean, I know Burrow.
Recently.
Burrow deserves that level of ire, but they're such a fucking clown show. They don't know how to run an organization at all, that they're wasting his fucking prime. So
They just
shout
signed Higgins.
Shout out to dickhead owners. Yeah, finally. How long did that take them?
I know, but
And
they
you know
signed
you're
Jamar Chase and Higgins.
Yeah, but they always wait too long, and they're probably too fucking stupid. I don't understand the cap, but it doesn't seem like they do, and they own a fucking team. And so it doesn't seem like you should sign your best players at the fucking end. You'll end up like the fucking Cowboys. You know what I mean? So I don't think they know what the fuck they're doing, and that makes me feel good.
So you don't hate them?
Not yet. Burrow
ability.
definitely has the ability to get me to hate them for sure. And then, yeah. And the Browns, you just kind of feel bad. It's just hilarious.
I feel
Just
bad.
so
I went to
fucking
school in
funny.
Ohio, and I was around Northeast Ohio, and those people love the Browns.
Yeah. Oh, they love
it's
them more than
been-
anything.
It's been a toilet bowl for a long
It's
time,
crazy.
and it doesn't look like it's getting any better.
No, sir. No.
I feel bad. What are your
Before we move on, what were your thoughts on the resurgence of Joe Flacco in Cleveland last year or 2 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me not to root for, like, at the end of the day, I was not scared of that team. And it's like, part of me, I mean, wait, did he actually sign with the Steelers, or is that a rumor?
No, I don't think
Flacco
so.
didn't sign, good,
No.
right? No.
I haven't heard
I
that
saw a
yet.
rumor that he might, anyway, so
That would
thank
hurt.
God. That would have been brutal. That would have been fucking
what is it
brutal.
about Joe Flacco?
I mean, this run, honestly, that's also another reason I picked this game, is that, like, I think what is it is that, like, yeah, he had a legendary run, and I think he's fucking really good, and to be able to do this, you have to be one of the best. Like, it's crazy. The amount of people that go on who have their best football during a Super Bowl run it's the best thing of all time. But I think there's something about him. He feels relatable. He's a Mid-Atlantic guy. He seems like a guy you might have grown up with. It's cool, from I think he's like from the Philly burbs. He went to Delaware.
Yeah.
He went to fucking Delaware. He played in Baltimore. It's like he's got that. I know, even though he's not from Baltimore, he feels like a guy from Baltimore. It was never complicated. The motherfucker just threw he threw a beautiful deep ball.
And he was faster than what people.
Yeah.
Like, I remember Bill always talking about Flacco. Like, don't let this motherfucker out the pocket.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just telling you, when he gets going,
He got a
he's
couple
hard
big
to
runs.
bring down.
Yeah,
he's a big fucking guy.
He's fucking huge.
He's a big guy.
He's huge. And I think there was just something awesome about him where it was like, I also think there's a relatability in some ways, even though, again, world-class quarterback, you shouldn't relate to him. You have nothing. The average fucking idiot on his couch has nothing in common with Joe Flacco. But at the end of the day, it's like, he is from Delaware. Like, he is a guy from around where we're from, and nobody really believed in him at any point. He put his money, and I think for me anyway, and for other people, I think you could watch that and get inspired and be like, I just need to fucking get it together when it fucking matters. And, like, I could be a fucking legend forever. And Joe we had great years, and I loved rooting for him, but I think it was like the combination of getting you a Super Bowl and just like how relatable and how much like people will ask him now in interviews like, oh, do you, and they'll kind of try and get him to like talk about how good the Ravens are, but he's still like, I'm playing, motherfucker. I'm still in the league. If I want the Ravens to, and I like that attitude.
Yeah.
It's like, he doesn't see it as like this like retirement tour. He sees it as like, I'm doing this. Fucking sign me. And I fucking love that, dude. Even though here's the other thing, he might be wrong, right?
Yeah.
But you need that belief. If you have to believe in yourself more than anyone else. to be successful with these hard things. And he was like, for like him, Giannis, like sports guys can absolutely inspire you in your life for that. And I take a lot of that from Flacco and you know, obviously Giannis for how hard Giannis is, like work ethic, coming from nothing to being one of the best. And it's just sort of that kind of underdog story. And the fact that it ends with a Super Bowl, and not just Super Bowl, but a Super Bowl that has Ray Lewis retires. Ed Reed got one with us because, you know, Reed is my favorite Raven, even though Ray obviously is a legend. But he was just so fucking cool, and he was just so incredibly good. And it was just such a special, like, that kind of Super Bowl keeps you going. Now, did I want us to win this year? Absolutely. I love Lamar. He's gaining on Reed for me because he's just incredible to watch, and he's so fucking good. And I would have loved. There was like the numerology every 12 years, the quarterback's 28 years old. I thought for sure we were winning because of that dumb bullshit. And then it would have been, if we had gotten that one, I literally wouldn't have needed another Super Bowl for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Yeah. 3 at really pivotal points in my life would have been great, but we'll get him this year.
So Ed Reed, we'll jump into this Baltimore team.
Yes.
Good segues, Ed Reed. I remember Ed Reed's last year, he lit me up in Baltimore.
Yeah.
You remember that? I don't know if you remember that. We ended up
Do you
losing.
remember it?
It was 2000. It was this year. It was the game that I played in. Ed Reed came and he lit me up on a post.
Damn.
And he just was so swaggy about it. Like, he was just a competitor.
So cool.
Bill used to literally show like a 40-play cut-up of Ed Reed every time we played him. And we're like, Bill, we saw this 6 weeks ago. And he's like, he just show another cut-up like, Ed Reed, this fuck. He loves.
That's the one Venn diagram for me and Bill Belichick is our admiration for Ed Reed, is how much we respect him. Because I've seen him talk about that, and that is fucking cool, yeah. And he'll show those where it's like how smart he was to like, he was playing mind games with Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
It's insane. And not only that, but he'll return kicks. He'll lateral. Like those.
He'll block kicks.
He's
up and under. We used to show all our special teams his up and under move on blocking kicks because he was that legendary. So Ed Reed's one of your favorite guys from this team.
For sure.
Ray Lewis, you love him.
Absolutely.
Joe Flacco.
Ray Lewis and Ogden. See, Ogden gets forgotten in the like Ray Lewis, because Ray Lewis obviously
Ogden was really good,
you know, but like it doesn't happen without Ogden. They draft those guys the same year. That was and like those are the cornerstones of our franchise. And he's in many ways, I feel like Ogden is what the perfect left tackle became. You know, it's like that he got drafted a long fucking time ago. And now it was just like he was so good. It's insane. He was kind of like Tim Duncan, where it's like it's kind of boring and gets forgotten. But I don't think we win that first Super Bowl without him for sure. And it's like he does get a little. I want to give him his credit because to me it's him. I think of him and Ray Lewis as the initial stars that got us off the ground together. And I feel like he gets forgotten too much. Offensive lineman, that's going to happen. But,
it happens.
And also his personality. He's just like a kind of a quiet, chill guy. He's not, that he's not doing the sick dances that everybody sees. He's
linemen are in their own world
for sure.
And
you kind of have to be. You're getting,
but they're the reason.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the trenches. I mean, you listen to all the guys. It starts in the trenches. It's true. I love John Harbaugh as a coach.
It's his fifth year.
I like his story too. Special teams coach becomes head coach. That's why I loved competing against the Ravens, because you knew it was going to be a tough fight. You had to bring your A game. It was going to be a battle to the end. They were never scared to come play at our house. I mean, there's just so many carryovers. Dean Pease was my coach my rookie year with the Patriots. Came over the defensive coordinator job for the Ravens. A lot of crossovers with the Ravens, Patriots on the defensive side of the ball. Bill always liked those guys. And then you guys wore the art patch.
Yep.
For Art Modell. This must have been a fucking fairy tale way to get to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
By beating the guy that Art Modell fired before he left.
Yeah. Well, I don't really give a fuck if owners get their due. They can suck my dick. They're the worst part of sports without question. All of them made their money in a horrific way. There's not a single owner has done anything good for the world. And they get the trophy first. That's fucking crazy. I mean, whatever. Rest in peace, Art Modell. I'm glad he moved to Baltimore, but whatever. He also fucked Cleveland. It doesn't matter to me because we got fucked by shittier owners in fucking Indianapolis now, whatever. So, but yeah, I don't give a fuck about it all coming together for Art Modell's legacy. I really prefer the whole Ray Lewis, Ed Reed get one together angle. But, yeah.
Jacoby Jones,
Rest in
RIP to him
peace.
too.
Incredible.
He
man.
was the miracle.
Incredible.
Unreal. Had the kickoff return
Great.
in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
He was a guy that you always circled and you knew about on the other team because he could change the play like that. Game.
Again, that's what I love about us is like we do have these guys like Tynan Wallace is kind of like that now, where it's like these guys that kind of come out of nowhere that we've always felt like a complete team in that cliche way where it's like it always is different. Every week we'd have a guy that is good and maybe on a different team could have a more featured role, but like we just have guys just kind of pop.
Newsome.
I love Newsome and EDC.
Getting the teams
right after him. I mean, I was nervous when Newsome retired because I was like, well, that's it, we're done. Because it does feel like he had such a run, but knock on wood, we seem to be keeping it going.
So to put a bow on this Ravens team, they finished 10-6, coming off the year last year.
10-6 and went and won the Super Bowl.
That's right, baby.
Got to get hot at the right time.
Got to get hot, and that's why I'm still not worried about this team. We have so much talent that like
if they get hot, they put it together.
They're
hard to beat.
We were close, man. We were fucking. That game was.
Lamar just got to get that thing off his back.
I know, and it's tough. But I get that. I just don't. I hate that criticism because it's like, yeah, this shit is fucking hard. It's
hard.
fucking
Peyton
hard
Manning
as shit.
Didn't win a Super Bowl for a long time.
Peyton Manning's my go-to example.
They have that whole. There's the fucking graphics everyone shows. Peyton Manning, his career, the same place.
100%. And like if you could tell the Ravens fans after when Flacco, it's clearly not working out anymore, and we're kind of in a. I mean, Lamar might have saved Harbaugh's career. I mean, shit was not. People were calling for his head.
Yeah, I remember.
And like. Thank God. That's another thing. That's the only other thing I'll ever thank Bill Belichick for. I thought for sure you were going to draft Lamar. I was watching that draft, and I was like, "Fuck, this guy's going to go to the Patriots. I'm going to kill myself. He's going to be good." Because I thought he was going to be awesome. I didn't buy into any of the he's a fucking wide receiver. Like he just seemed cool and like a good player, and especially at the value at that. Like I was like, "Wow, these fucking idiots are going to luck into Brady's replacement in a way that doesn't even threaten Brady because he's not some handsome pocket passer. He's you know what I mean? He's like, he had to get hit. A couple of those guys jettisoned out of there for his self-esteem. Jimmy G couldn't stay on the fucking roster.
Handsome guy.
Too handsome for Brady to have him around. And so like Lamar's a totally different player, and they clearly have so much respect for each other. You see that when they have played anyway. So thank God you passed on him, and Lamar also I kind of blame for turning me into a fan again because I was free. I was an even more casual, and then we drafted him. I was like, I think he's gonna be fucking awesome, and then I just had, and he was, and now I'm back for 10, 15 years.
Now, when was this Ronnie character developed? Was he developed with Flacco? Or was he developed with Lamar?
It's a lifelong thing. Yeah, because I do a
because you
dumb
pulled
character.
it from someone.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's wherever you go, everybody has their own kind of townie. That's like a fucking idiot. It's like the voice in your head. What I was talking about earlier, where it's like it's just being a football fan is just turning into a caveman once a week. This is kind of like this is that like personification of the dumbest the dumbest part of my fan brain is just Ronnie, and it's like. Some guy from Baltimore, dumb as shit, minor criminal, owes child support, just like that kind of, he's a real dirtbag who is probably, is stupid as shit, is racist, you know what I mean? Just like the worst football fan of all time, who will not, he'll give you his takes. You know what I mean? Like he'll really let you know how he feels. So
regardless if you want it.
Oh yeah, for sure. You get cornered by this guy in some shitty bar, it's like you're hearing about.
Let's do a little word association game with Ronnie.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's do it. I'll get into character, sure.
Tom Brady.
System quarterback.
Tony Siragusa.
Probably the greatest defensive tackle of all time. Goat. Next.
Old Bay.
Good as hell.
Cal Ripken Jr.
Also a goat, the man. Fuck the Yankees.
Lamar Jackson.
You know, he's getting there. He ain't no Joe Flacco, but, you know, in a couple more years, I think he could get there.
Joe Flacco.
The most underrated quarterback in the history of the National Football League.
Oh.
Can we talk about Tony Siragusa for real? Like, as a fat kid growing up, like, he was like my hero. Like,
dude, Siragusa's that's the other thing we have a long history of fat guys to root for on the Ravens. Like, just fat, fun, specifically defensive linemen, where we have Siragusa. Obviously, I was in 6th grade.
The Goose.
I was in 6th grade, a little fat kid, like, again, in Baltimore City schools. We had cool white nose tackles in an era that helped me out a lot socially at school. We had Tony Siragusa, and then when I played nose tackle, and Kelly Gregg, if you remember him, he was like that was huge for me. Just, we had cool fat white guys, and then that transitioned to, you know, it got a little more. We had, Haloti Nada was fucking awesome. Pierce, who just retired, unfortunately. I wish he would come back.
Good player.
Had the fucking pick. The fat boy pick, wearing a 50, being the fattest guy on the field, wearing a 50 number. Awesome.
So you had to love Wilfork.
Huh? I did, unfortunately. That's another one I did love. That one hurts me that I love him so much. The ribs and the overalls. Are you kidding me, dude?
He's so cool,
Fuck.
too.
Yeah, you're right. There's a couple guys.
He used to drive a semi-truck to work.
That's so
like,
sick,
he had
dude.
Like, without a trailer, but just a big semi-truck.
So fucking sick, dude. He's the man. He was awesome. Yeah, and he was and I did play nose tackle, so I did also kind of, for that time, care about nose tackles hilariously. But yeah, no, I loved him. He was awesome. He was fucking cool as shit.
All right, let's get into this game. The game lead up real quick.
Okay, so the Pats enter the 2 seed in the AFC. They got a first round bye. They would roll past Houston to the divisional round, which was a rematch of the Letterman jacket game that we just did with Stephen Ridley.
You call us nerds, and they wear Letterman jackets.
I didn't say Houston was cool. Fuck Houston also. They thought they were going to be going to the Super. Your fucking rookie quarterback has one good season, and now you're fucking thinking you get 4 Super Bowls. Fuck you, Houston. I don't like seeing good teams start popping up. They are, and I'm only mad because they are making me nervous, because I think their coach is awesome, and I think Stroud is awesome.
Stroud's good, man.
And when you have that combo, that's a tough combo. And they're cooler.
And they're designed by a Patriot, Nick Caserio, the GM.
Is that so? I had no idea. So he's trying to make his shit. He's trying to like kind of. This is the reboot. He's trying to do like. He's the one who drafted
Belichick Stroud and all the boys.
Yeah. It is cool. They are kind of like a cooler version. Like they are, because like look at fucking who's their coach? The bald
D'Amico Ryan.
D'Amico. So much cooler than Belichick. Not even close. He looks fucking sick as shit. And Stroud, same thing, cooler than Brady. So they could be like a cooler. It's like the reboot. It's the all-black reboot of the Patriots.
The all-black reboot. You look at D'Amico's Instagram and then look at Bill's Instagram. You tell me who's more fun. You tell me who's more fun.
Baltimore entered the 4 seed. They beat the Colts in the wild card. And then we mentioned in the divisional round, they beat Peyton Manning's Broncos in the double overtime upset, the miracle.
Crazy.
The Mile High
One
miracle.
of the sickest games of all time.
With that 70-yard touchdown at the end regulation.
Also watched the Mile High Miracle in my college girlfriend's living room while she was mad at me in her bedroom.
So we're 2 for 2 on this. That was the good luck charm.
Yeah. That's true. We haven't won a Super Bowl since she broke up with me. Maybe I need to get her back.
You gotta get her
I
back.
think she's married with children now, but babe, yeah, depending on how it's looking. Next season around the playoffs, I might knock on her door. Yeah.
You guys get knocked out second round this year. You might have to get back.
This game was also a rematch of the Week 3 game that you mentioned, where Baltimore beat the Patriots 31-30 in Baltimore. It's also worth noting this is the second game of championship weekend. So Jim Harbaugh had already won for the 49ers and was going to the Super Bowl. They even interviewed John before the game, like, say congrats to your brother. He's like, fuck you, I'm playing.
Yeah. I respect that.
Now, what was your guys' confidence level going into this year's? Were you guys confident because you were thinking of 2009? You're confident from the year before where you guys almost won, or was this a different beast?
This was totally different. This was like, it felt to me like it was a pure, where you go into it, and again, you're lucky in that you just put your fan brain on, right? Once the playoffs start, it is like, get hot, baby. But whenever you're saying, let's get hot, doesn't mean you're too confident, right? Whenever you're hoping for a miracle run, which is what we had and why this was so special, is because we've all been there where it's like actually I've experienced this before where I went to UMBC, the first 16 seed to beat a number 1 seed.
Yeah.
And I remember that feeling of that game where it's like, this is pretty fun. We're giving a real run for their money. And then it's like, wait, are we going to fucking win? Like, we actually can win. And then we won. It was like, I can't fucking believe it. That's kind of what this run felt like, because it was like everyone's banged up. We were pretty banged up, we were still figuring shit out. You definitely believe in Flacco, and you had the deep run last year. But it did feel like Ray was hurt. That was we were worried about that, and these teams were good. I mean, you guys were fucking good. Peyton Manning with that defense was fucking good, and so it was like, in no way, especially maybe the wild card, whatever, but like, yeah, playing Peyton Manning in Denver and then playing you in Foxborough, and then
That's a road.
That's a fucking tough. So it was like, it was more satisfying because like the last couple of years where we are Super Bowl favorites, each game is excruciating. Each game is like, fuck, like we got to make this. But this was a magical run where I was just like, all right, boys, let's see what we got. And you're just watching, and it's the best way to win a fucking Super Bowl because it's guys you love.
10-6 team, you're playing with house money.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
guys are already satisfied
For sure.
after each win. So after the Denver game, you guys would have been like, we should have been
big,
there.
yeah. But also it's like you're playing with house money, but it didn't feel like a team that was a fluke.
Yeah.
Because we'd been there the year before. We should have beat that. So it was like sometimes that can be a little annoying.
Getting healthy at the right time.
Yeah.
Because you had guys coming back too, I remember.
Right, yeah, coming back. And shout out to fucking deer antler spray. It's legal. The man had a problem with fucking deer on his property. Get off his dick. But yeah, we figured it out. So that's why this was great, man. This is a magical sports. Like there are some sports moments I remember, like Greece won the Euro in 2004, which is something I never thought we would win a major, international tournament. Giannis from a personal standpoint of like that game 6, where he had fucking 50 points and his biggest issues were the free throw, and he went like 15 for 16 from 3. Like he had that sick alley-oop. That was a huge sports moment for me, obviously. And then it's tough to say. This I was more kind of cognizant of. Like I said, it's cool to win a Super Bowl when you're in 6th grade. That's kind of, I won them in kind of perfect times. Because it's like 6th grade when you're like 12, and then like this one I think I was 24 or 25, where you're just like right at the end of being a dumb college kid mentally. It's like I would soon have to start worrying about my future after this, but this was still when I was like, going to bars and just whoever didn't drink drinks, I was just like, just being broke as shit, dirtbag. That's the time to win a Super Bowl. So I'm very happy with both. This was just a magical Super Bowl to watch.
So we're watching the Super Bowl. Patriots jump out 3.
AFC Championship.
I'm sorry, AFC Championship.
AFC Championship.
It was a magical Super Bowl run.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's how good it was that this is the forgotten game in it. It's
I know.
crazy. Because it's huge. Like
I forget this. Forget this game because I really didn't play, but then I watched. We watched it to do the research. I was like, man, now I remember there was 3 plays.
And you guys were a great. You did get hurt, but your offense was fucking incredible. That
Yeah,
year.
but we didn't have Gronk.
Mm-hmm.
So Gronk was in the owner's box, and Julian, where were you when you were hurt?
I was in San Francisco.
They wouldn't even fuck. They were like, just.
I
stay.
wasn't a big enough name yet to be an owner. I didn't.
They're like, you can fly yourself out. And we'll give you half off tickets if you want to go to the game.
Aisle or seater? Do you want aisle or window? They're very accommodating. Very accommodating. I was a window person. So I went home. No, so you guys go. We go up. We're playing tough. We start the game out. We're running the ball. Ridley's doing well. We're executing. We got in these long, methodical drives. We're tiring you guys out. We get up to 13-7 at halftime. What are you thinking at halftime in your girlfriend's apartment while she's pissed off at you?
That's interesting. I'm like, fuck. This is like my relationship. It's falling apart. I thought we had it in us. I thought we were really gonna make it. Turns out I'm gonna call my mom, see if she can move some of her shit out of my room. It's about time. It's about time I got a real job, quit comedy. That's kind of what I'm thinking at halftime. Everything's going to shit. But that's the thing. 13-7. with teams this good, it's like this tight. You're like, and you did come out, but it wasn't easy either.
There was that goal line stand that we took 3 at the end of half.
Yeah,
that Baltimore stopped us on like the 2-yard line.
And that's a big one, man.
We kicked a field goal. If that was, if 14 is different, then those 2 touchdowns are different.
For sure. But that's the thing. It's like you come off with that kind of like that goal line stand was big because I rewatched the highlights. Like, oh yeah, how do you not feel good when you're
That's
like,
a win.
fuck them? It's
That's
like,
a win.
Yeah, we kept it close enough. And so it wasn't, and like we ended up playing great defense in the second half. I mean, how many fucking picks did Brady end up having?
2.
He had 2.
Yeah, they were big ones. Maybe I watched the 09 when I forgot he had a ton in that one. But
No, he had 2. So it started in third quarter.
the third quarter, you didn't score after like.
We didn't score. You guys went on a run.
You did not
guys
score the
scored. You
whole
guys
fucking
took the
second
momentum.
half. Yeah.
And then we were driving, and then we didn't convert that third down. We had a drop, and then the next drive we were driving, and then Ridley got knocked out.
Oh, okay, yes.
And then the next drive we didn't do anything. We were driving again, and then we threw the tip pick.
Yes.
So you guys, every time we were trying to answer the bell, Baltimore took the wind right out of us with something.
Yeah.
Or we had a self-inflicting wound. It just wasn't our night that game.
Yeah, and that's what I love about even this team. I love growing up like rooting for a defensive team because it's like punting was never a bad thing. Like that's when we actually were like, all right, something might happen.
Flip the field.
My whole life was always like our offenses were never what you thought about, and it wasn't like we were always. So the thing that would devastate other teams of having a third 3 and out, I'm like, not great, but hey, let's get our fucking guys. And I think that's why I'm also hopeful for this team because. Yes, obviously our rushing, the modern day Ravens I'm talking now, where it's like, obviously our rushing game is insane. And you have two. I mean, when we got Derrick Henry, it's just refreshing for sign an awesome player and it works out.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it doesn't happen. And I think he just is one of one where I don't think, actually, I take that back because what happened with Saquon, right? Like these guys, it's nice to see these older. I mean, these guys are younger than I am, whatever, but like running backs, who are fucking awesome, excel, because it is annoying. That's a tough, they are the most meat grinder position maybe of all of them, even considering offensive line maybe is the only other option, but like they don't get paid what they deserve for like their peak years. They should get paid a shit ton of money for the production, but they're usually on rookie contracts when they're doing the most production. They're the guys that get fucked the most with the way the cap and rookie contracts are done. And it's nice to see those guys excel and hopefully kind of help other guys get paid because that is a fucked up thing with the NFL where it's like, come on, man, let's take care of this. This is the most successful sport in the history of the world. You're talking about putting teams in fucking London. How about everybody gets healthcare the second they play a fucking down of football? You know what I mean? Like, sorry, there's a shot collar going off again.
That was my workman's comps case.
Anyway, sorry. What the fuck are we talking about?
I was about ready to vote for you. Shit, fuck. You gotta get healthcare? Hell yeah. Can we take a second to talk about Bernard Pollard, the fucking Patriot killer?
Yeah.
This guy.
That's awesome.
So he took out Welker,
Brady,
Gronk,
that's right,
Ridley, and he changed the momentum of this game.
Yeah.
What was up with that guy? You guys fucking love that guy.
I love that guy. Again, that's another guy. Like we have these guys that pop in for like their careers aren't always Ravens, but they feel like Ravens. And he definitely was one of those guys. Because and again, he had, like we said, it was the tail end of really fucking people up.
Yeah.
And his career might have been different if he's playing even 5 years later, because that motherfucker could pick his spots and fuck people up.
Yeah, if he was born 5 years later, he'd have a shorter career because he wouldn't be able to hit.
Yeah. But he was really a refreshing, again, for the time. Times have changed, but for the time it was like
this generation, like I played against these teams. Those were no-fly zones. If
Right.
there was a mistake in the middle of the field, you were getting knocked out.
Yeah.
And that's how football was played.
Yeah.
So you saw better football because if you didn't, guys were not playing.
Your execution has to be sharper because you had mortal damage.
Mortal.
It wasn't just getting yelled at. It was like, will I see out of my left eye if I run the wrong route?
Is my spleen going to work?
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
like, and that's what Baltimore did. They instilled fear. You knew going across that middle, laid across the middle, you knew if you caught a ball, you better hold on to that thing because
Yeah.
someone's going to come hit you.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about Anquan Bolden, too. He was a fucking
sick.
rock star.
Perfect. We keep coming back to these guys. Perfect example.
Yeah.
Honestly, obviously, most of his career is the Cardinals, whatever. But when he came to us, it was such a perfect match, man. He was so good.
Worker.
Grinder.
Grinder.
Talk about over the middle, take a hit, whatever. Like, so good.
He was like
and
a
him
short
and Torrey
tight end
Smith were he was
at that
for sure,
time.
yeah.
Because he was faster, but this was later in his career.
Right.
I just remember him always bodying up. Like he caught one on McCourty where he just bodies him up. You know?
He was our possession receiver. He was our like tight window, red zone stuff. And Torrey Smith, we had to stretch the field and either catch it or Flacco's going to get us a PI, baby. He's the king of PIs, man. That's that beautiful ball. I think refs see that spiral and they're like, well, somebody must have cheated if that beautiful ball didn't get caught.
We used to talk about that in team meetings as well. Now look, just turn back and look for the football and you won't get the penalties because Flacco's going to just throw it up there a mile high.
Yes, he will.
Like Bill used to say that shit all the time.
He's the king of that, dude. He was the king. So much, like if you added his passing yard, his PI yards to his passing yards, he'd be like
The best.
Yeah, it's crazy how much extra.
All right, let's put a button on this game. When did you feel it was over? Like you guys had it in the bag and you were starting to think about SF?
That's a great point. I mean, it was the kind of thing where that is the flip side of the you're never scared when your defense gets the ball. The flip side is you still unfortunately give the other team too many shots.
Yeah.
Like when you're and Flacco had a good game this game, but still it wasn't high scoring. It wasn't like, I guess you're just always a little. The flip side of like being comfortable when you're losing is not being super comfortable when you're winning either. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's Tom Brady, whatever. But they really couldn't get anything going. Probably, I would, probably after when you get a couple stops and it feels like have them.
I think it was that Ridley for me.
Yeah.
When Ridley got knocked out.
Yeah. Well, the Ridley, yeah.
Because he got knocked out, he fumbled. It wasn't. That's when the game was over. That's when the momentum shifted, and that's when the Baltimore team believed they could win.
For sure.
That was when they're like, all right, we got these motherfuckers on the rope.
Still after that, Brady threw 2 picks after that.
No,
right?
he threw one.
One?
I think he threw the tip one after that.
Okay, yeah.
And that was kind of the button.
It was after. He threw 2 picks back to back after the Ridley fumble.
Yeah,
so see, that's the thing is even after that, and I know you mean momentum, but even after that, it's like you got 2 other cracks at it right
still
away.
Scared.
Like if those are 2 touchdowns, you're up a point. You know what I mean? Like that, which is crazy. So probably the tip pick is the one where it's like, oh fuck, this is awesome. Yeah, they're fucked.
And then you guys win it. How was the celebration?
Celebration was fucking awesome. I mean, it was a lot of like disbelief. It was, I got in my personal celebrations, I get into a fight with my girlfriend again and I go do an open mic. So it wasn't really like the greatest night of my life, but I got pretty fucked up when we won the Super Bowl. So that was pretty fun.
So final score 28-13. Ravens, of course, would go on to win the Harbaugh Bowl, also known as the Blackout Bowl, 34-31, bringing Baltimore their first Super Bowl since 2000. Ray Lewis would ride off into the sunset as a champ after 17 seasons. Also, you mentioned earlier, just to put it out there, Ray Lewis tore his pec in earlier in this season and came back and played.
Yep.
And then the Patriots eventually would go on to win a Super Bowl, ending their 10-year drought of Super Bowls.
Jeez.
Yep. Well, we had a nice one. That was a great. That year was great. We get the Super Bowl. Our season ends in disgrace, and then that was great, man. I loved that Super Bowl, and it was nice. I mean, you get to the point where you're like, obviously, I'd like to win. I'd like the Ravens to win one more. Like, I'm not a greedy. Boston pig that needs more championships in his trough every year or he'll start fucking crying. Give me one spaced out every 15 years. I'm fine with that. You know what I mean?
Honest guy.
So I'd like one more before I die. Is that so much to ask for? I'd like Lamar to get one more and I'm good. If I have kids, that's up to them. I don't give a fuck. They can fend for themselves if Baltimore is good when they're alive or not. But I personally need one more.
He's not a greedy guy.
I'm not a greedy guy.
Let's score the game.
One thing real quick. We mentioned earlier the potential other team names. They're on a ballot when the team moved to Baltimore. Could have been the Ravens. Could have been the Americans. Could have been the Marauders. Mustangs and Railers.
Railers?
Railers.
The Marauders. I used to play against the Mountain View Marauders.
Okay. Marauders isn't bad.
It's like a Raider.
Yeah. I would have why wasn't Bully? Baltimore Bullies. That's pretty good.
I mean, at the time, it would have been all right.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
No, I like it. They're Bulldogs.
Bulldogs.
And that's how you get around it.
That's how you
It
get
can't be
around.
like kids trying to fuck, like shaking a nerd down
Just
for his
Richie
milk money.
Incognito giving someone a swirly.
Hey, he's been vindicated.
Screenshot of Richie Incognito's texts. That's our mascot.
He got vindicated.
He's been vindicated.
Has he?
He's been vindicated.
Cool.
Shout out to Richie Incognito for being vindicated.
Yeah.
Shout out. Let's name this game. These are some names that we came up with.
Ooh.
The Foxborough Flacco. Something about that Flacco game.
Something about that Flacco.
The Nevermore game. Quoth of the Ravens. Never score.
Quoth.
You got to
Quoth the
quoth
Raven.
him.
Yeah, I can't read. The Fall of the House of Brady.
That'd be great if you never won again, but unfortunately, fucking, you had a couple more.
Edgar Allan Joe game.
The Edgar Allan Joe game. That's pretty good. I like that one. I like that one because it's fun. Again, this game is more of like, this gets a little forgotten.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to throw a little shine on it. So something final like the Fall of Brady, that's too much. Never Scores pretty good because the second half, we did hold I don't remember what you guys were ranked, but you must have been fucking great. I know you got hurt.
Number one offense.
Number one offense, yeah. Number one offense. I forget Moss wasn't on those teams. He was on the 09 game because I watched both those. So he wasn't on there, whatever. But still, great offense. So to me, it's some, between the something about Flacco just because it feels good. Because the Mile High Miracle should be there's something about Flacco game, but it's the Mile High Miracle. But there was something about Flacco that game. He was that fucking. Thank God that guy blew that coverage, man. Fuck it, let's go the Edgar Allan Joe game. I like that.
Let's go
one.
with the Edgar Allan Joe game. Score the game.
Outplayed Tom Brady. You gotta love it in his home field.
Let's score the game. Is this the greatest game of all time? Let's score it. Stakes, Stav. 0 to 10 decimals okay of this AFC Championship game that led to the Baltimore Ravens winning a Super Bowl.
Stakes, they're fucking high.
They're high.
I'm in an 8 or a 9. I don't know. Because in a weird way, both games, the game before and after, had weirdly higher stakes. But I'll put it at, you know what, let's say 9 because you don't win this.
No, yeah.
Then we don't, that whole team has no Super Bowls. That era is kind of, we just get forgotten as one of the great teams. Like all those Chargers teams that we remember, but it's like no Super Bowl. It's like they kind of get, you automatically get gone
forget
down.
about them.
Yeah, you do. So
Kind of like this game.
yeah, for sure.
9. I'm going to go with 9.3 because this AFC Championship, this is 9.3.
Oops.
9.3.
Oh, I got you.
9.2.
All right.
9.2. God damn it,
Gave him
Jules.
time to think about it.
9.2.
Jack had a 9.3 out of 8.4.
Oh, there we go.
9.3. Star power, Stav. 0 to 10 decimals okay. The star power of this game. A lot of Hall of Famers.
A lot of Hall of Famers. Some, there are some injuries.
Injuries. Where does this play? Who was at the game? Was there any stars at the game?
Gronk in the press box.
Gronk was in the press box. I think
Yeah.
Bon Jovi was there, maybe.
Okay, not great.
It's a Bon
This
Jovi
isn't
podcast.
a big. I mean, I like Bon Jovi, but I'm just saying if he's number one, and he's not. These aren't Jersey. The fuck? Who gives a fuck if Bon Jovi's there? It's Baltimore versus New England. Anyway, but that's fine. Maybe he's there, maybe he's not. Anybody from Def Leppard at the game? I'll say it's not a high star power game. I will give it an 8 though, because it's still a lot of Hall of Famers. But this is a gritty fucking game. It's like
this is gritty.
It's not about the stars. It's about and even your stars. It's old ass Ray Lewis with a torn pec. It's Brady without some of his weapons. You know what I mean? So it's like it's not the flashiest game, and the Ravens were never our stars are just so fucking good they become stars.
Yeah,
they're never like the flashy guys. So I'll still give it an 8 though, because a lot of Hall of Famers on the team, both teams.
Never flashy guys. Have probably top 2 of the best defensive guys of all time.
Yeah. They're the fucking.
You got Tom Brady on there. This is a very integrity type score, Stavvy. I'm going with an 8 as well.
There we go.
Jack at 8.4.
There
at
we go.
8.2.
I mean, he's aligned. This guy did homework or something. He must have watched our scoring.
I did not.
He did homework.
Let me promise you that. I watched the highlights on the Uber ride over here.
Perfect. The gameplay of the game. Back and forth. How was it? 0 to 10. Decimals okay.
For me?
For you.
For me, it's a 10 because I love seeing you motherfuckers get shut out in the second half. But I could see. Well, the first. It wasn't. Again, some football games that are great games are not great watches.
No, yeah.
And I think this game wasn't an exceptional watch. It was a satisfying win for a Ravens fan. And I think at that point, you guys already had plenty of haters. So it was fun. So I'll give it an 8.5. To me, it's a 10 personal score. But I want to be a little objective here. This wasn't fucking, Allen versus Mahomes. 13 seconds. This was, a different type of game.
It was Flacco versus Brady.
That's right.
Integrity score.
I plays him.
So I'm gonna go with. I like defensive games. There's some good punt returns. There's fumbles. I like these types of games. This is what Baltimore games were like, especially against us. Tough, back and forth, defensive grind, very situationally tight games. I'm going with the 8.2.
There we go.
Jack had a 7.0. I had a 6.9.
6.08, Gronk answer. And then we finally, the name of the game, the Edgar
Allan Joe, baby.
Joe.
I'm going to give it the Edgar Allan Joe with something about Flacco, honorable mention. But actually, I think I never score as the honorable mention. But no, Edgar Allan Joe. It's the funner one.
You got to score the name.
Oh, give it the score.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. See, I didn't do homework. I'll give it a solid... or how about the Forgotten Flacco? Maybe I'm just coming right off the top.
There he goes, the Forgotten Flacco game.
Because it is the Forgotten Flacco game on this run.
It is.
Okay.
The Forgotten Flacco masterpiece, maybe? So what's an F? What's a masterpiece thesaurus word with an F? It doesn't matter. The Forgotten Flacco...
Fantastico.
Fantastico? No. The Forgotten Flacco. We'll give it that. Yeah. And I'll give it... I'm going to give, again, I'm a man of integrity. It's good. It's not great. 8.3. My own name.
I'm going to go with a 7.5.
Okay. I deserve that. Because it's kind of on the spot, and it was kind of on the spot, but no worries.
It's kind of on the spot. It's still a good name. But cultural...
No, you're right.
Relevant.
I'm fucking with you. Yeah. You're absolutely right. The
Jack
game
had a
was not that
6.4. I had a
important.
6.8.
Where does it go into the games we've done?
The final score is an 8.01.
Okay.
Which puts it...
Respect. Thanks for... I was going to slightly overrate it. Thanks for kind of going with me, boys.
What are you talking? It's...
Okay.
8.1 in between.
Just below the 2053 Super Bowl 53 Patriots Rams.
Yes.
And just above the Veritek versus A-Rod Red Sox Yankees fight game 2004.
Game.
Yeah, that's good. I wish they had all bludgeoned each other to death. If it was up to me, that game would have ended with somebody bombing whatever field they played it on. Fuck both those teams.
Fuck. Fuck those teams. Man, lastly, we got to have the Mount Rushmore
Okay.
of Baltimore athletes.
Ooh, I love it. Oh, yeah, I mean,
Or from Baltimore.
Cal
Anyone from
Ripken.
Baltimore.
We could do a cultural. We could do a
Cultural.
we could do a cultural, and we could do a
right.
athlete. I mean, if we're talking athletes, obviously Cal's got to be on there. It really comes down to, I think Cal's got to be on there. Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, and then, I mean,
what's telling you in your head right now? I see it.
It's just hard. My answer.
Don't say it. Are you gonna say it?
I don't think I can.
Is there something about him?
There is something about him, right? I'm not gonna say there's not something about him. It's a split. I know that's a fucking complete coward's way out, but it's the quarterback slot, and it's a split right now, Lamar and Flacco. But Lamar is so fucking like. Obviously, this is a joke character, and I love Flacco, and he is he's the fucking man, Super Bowl MVP. It's insane, one of my favorite athletes. But Lamar is just like, I just think he does get shit on a little too much. And obviously, there's people who love him. I'm not gonna say that he's just has detractors, but he's so fucking good. He's so electric. I think it's got to be Lamar, man.
All right,
Stav,
do we miss anything about this game?
No, I don't think so. I think we even got a little extra in there. But no, the game was fun. Just wanted to highlight it. That's it, man. Come see me on tour if you had a nice time listening to the pod. My Stavvy's World. I have a podcast. I have a movie on Hulu right now, and yeah, we're still on the road. This was our first month. We have a month. I have a break coming up. It is too long. I fucked up.
When are you in Boston? We'll have to put that on there because
yeah.
I gotta tell everyone who's listening, man, it was fucking hilarious.
Thank you, dude.
Your crowd work is awesome.
Thank you.
It's like a different style of. I don't know. I just went. I brought my mom. She had a fucking blast.
Yeah,
I'm really excited to get to finally meet you.
Yeah,
I've
man,
been a huge
I had
fan.
A blast. Thank you, dude. Yeah, this is so sick.
So you got to check them out on Stavvy's World.
Mm-hmm. Join the Patreon. It's great.
Join the Patreon.
Free episode, two episode, an extra bonus episode a week on top of the free episode.
And let's start a cult on Hulu.
That's right.
So he wrote that. He produced that. He did everything to that. Go freaking support him. And then the Dreamboat Tour, freaking awesome. Thanks, Stavvy.
Thank you, brother.
Man, he's a Baltimore guy.
Dude, he's awesome.
Loves Baltimore.
He's so cool. I'm a just a little peek behind the curtain. I'm a Patreon subscriber of Stavvy World. Love it. It's awesome. So that was cool for me.
So Patreon's the pay for?
Yeah, we can't. Your salary is too public over the course of the last decade that we wouldn't do that. But like for comedians, how they make their money, it's a cool platform. And they put out 2 shows a week. It's funny.
Awesome.
It's great.
Man.
Yeah. And then, so more peek behind the curtain. What we're going to do here for this post-game segment, we put a call to action for some advice. So you're going to answer some advice. And the reason why we're doing that is because on Stavvy's show, half of the show, they answer advice from their fans. And we kind of took this idea, the voicemail, entirely from them. So that's why we do it, because I was inspired by watching them do it. So that's why we do voicemail. So we're going to do a little homage to them here, doing some advice.
Let's do it.
Cool.
It's time for the Chill Zone, brought to you by Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Remember, visit CoorsLight.com/GWN and celebrate responsibly. Ooh. It does taste good. Let's hear them.
Hey, this is Richard. I was just calling to ask if you guys might have any advice on what to do on repairing a torn Achilles or recouping from that. Thanks. Have a great day.
Torn Achilles. Never did it. But any kind of injury.
Probably a doctor.
No, I would say it all comes down to the physical therapist. When it comes, the doctors are all like mechanics. They all know how to.
But you should go to a doctor if you tear your ACL or your Achilles.
If you tore your Achilles, go to the doctor, get it operated on, and then find really good physical therapy and do it. You have to do it consistently. You know, the more you put into the physical therapy, the better result you'll get for the rest of your life when that thing fully repairs. So good luck, man.
Achilles is the new ACL, it feels like.
Yeah, it's tough. The surfaces. I don't know. Can only give the advice on the.
Or, you could do too with the torn Achilles. You get a pretty gnarly scar.
Gnarly, yeah.
Come up with a cool story for it.
Shark.
Shark.
Hi, my name is Taylor. I'm originally from Cambridge, Massachusetts. I live out on the West Coast, and I love my job, and I love how beautiful it is out here, but I really want to move back to Boston. So should I move? What do you think?
If you want to get back to Boston, you should move.
But she loves her job and how beautiful it is here. This is Taylor. You're kind of going through what I'm going through right now, a little bit.
Yeah.
Just love California, but it's hard. It's expensive. It was on fire for a while. Boston's nice. Got some fall.
Get some seasons.
Food sucks in Boston though compared to here.
I don't know, Bubs.
It's not even close. Bro, it's not even
Regardless.
close. It's not even close.
Taylor, this is what I think you should do. Since you have a beautiful job that you love in this beautiful area, hopefully that beautiful job pays you a lot of money. You buy a condo in Cambridge. You work remotely in Cambridge when you want that Boston fix. And you come back out here when you need to be out here. Easy. If you can't, move back to Boston.
Boston in the fall for 3 weeks and for like 2 weeks in the spring is probably the best place on earth to be. And then everywhere in time else it sucks.
I don't.
Summers
mind
are too hot. Winters are too dark and cold.
Get the Cape. Get over there. Get a lobster roll on the side of the road over in fucking.
That's an afternoon.
Sandwich.
That's not a lifestyle. It's an afternoon.
Yeah, but it's hot. You get a popsicle. Go over to Crescent Ridge and Plainville and get you some ice cream that's made right out there. I mean, I love Boston all year round. The only time that it sucks is when it's March and it's still freezing.
Yeah, January, February, March.
Yeah.
Sometimes April.
The snow is good for the first 2 weeks.
The first few weeks of December leading up to Christmas, snow is cool.
And then when it's dirty and like, no, it's like filthy. Like you can't, you have to wear boots.
I used to, as a flashback from my childhood, you remember when Genco jeans were huge?
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of fucking denim. Walking through slush and you're carrying around 10 pounds of just dirty slush in your fucking Genco jeans. Yeah.
And then also, I don't miss scraping my car.
Did you ever have like an automatic turnaround guy?
I didn't. Every guy in the locker room had an automatic start. I didn't.
The old S10 didn't have one?
No, I didn't have. I wasn't driving the S10 in the league. At that time, I was driving a Lincoln MKS or something. Robin Ford.
So
move.
Buy a condo.
Buy a condo.
There.
If you love your job and you have the means to buy a condo, buy a condo. Buy Coastal's pretty awesome.
And just go there in the fall. And
that's
then
what
come
I
back
kind of
to
do.
California. That's good. Okay, this is from a text line, which I don't support, but okay. Hey, Jules, me and my buddy were talking to the same girl one night out. I ended up with her number and have been seeing her the last month. How do I tell my buddy?
You got to sit him down and just say, hey, Bubs, we've been talking. The competition's over. Or whatever. I don't.
Seeing her for a month after they talked for
like
one night, like just shut up. You don't have to say anything.
Yeah. If it's like really getting to him and he needs to fucking get it off his chest, go just say, dude, I'm talking to what's her name? We were both there. I was the best man.
That's the move. You have a nice, committed, loving relationship. You find the one. This girl's the one. You marry her, and you make your buddy your best man just to stick it to him.
No. I don't know. It depends on how tight the boys are. A night out, how old are these kids?
Let's say 24. College aged.
Yeah,
Shut up. It's fine.
It's fine. You're
good.
Hey, Julian. I'm going through some girl problems right now. I met this girl at Hooters 2 nights ago. She was having a bad day. I brought her some flowers. Went back the next day because I thought she was pretty and all, you know. And turns out her boyfriend broke up with her that day. So I went back, got her flowers, wrote her a note. Went back. We hugged. She cried. And, Julian, I think I'm in love, man. She lives in Myrtle Beach. I live in Maine. Shout out Patriots. Let's go New England.
Julian, I went to one of your pro camps when I was in like 5th grade.
and you threw a touchdown pass to me in the I-5. I just wanted to say that. Yeah, he does have a picture of that still on his Instagram, OG Instagram. But it's about a 16-hour difference, but I still love this girl, and I think that we'll get married. So let me know what you think, Julian. Hope to hear back from you. Go Boston. Go Boston, baby. Best wishes to you. Let's go.
So what's the advice? Hey, you should not be taking girl advice from me.
You've never fallen in love with a Hooters girl? By the way,
No.
R.I.P. Hooters.
I've never been to Hooters like that.
I think I just went one time.
There's one by the TD Green where we used to fly, but we were always on the bus.
Yeah.
I never even been to Hooters really.
Yeah, full team didn't just pull over, just go to Hooters real quick.
No. What is this?
So
Little Giants?
Should he move to Myrtle Beach to chase this Hooters girl?
This kid sounds probably 17.
Yeah.
So no. Okay,
Follow
go to
your
college, get a degree. I mean, if she's the one, she's the one though.
If it's meant to be, let her go.
And she'll come
And
back.
she'll come back.
She'll come back if if it's meant to be.
Or you know what? Be like your buddy. Go to pro camps. Work on your game.
Yeah, work your craft.
Yeah. Girls dig craft.
Girls love committed craft. Men
But then when you're too committed, they don't like that.
hate that.
There's a balance. But it's like you liked me because I'm committed, but now that you got me, you don't like it because I'm too committed. That's my own problem. I'll pull that back.
We'll figure that out. Wait up, kid. Don't make the move yet.
Are they good colleges in Myrtle Beach?
You're in South Carolina. Myrtle Beach is like real fun and like spring break, I think. Never been.
Go to Coastal Carolina.
Coastal Carolina. Shout out Isaiah Likely.
Mm.
Boston kid.
Mm.
You know he's from Boston?
Yeah.
Hey Jules, this is Cash from Dallas, Texas. I was wondering, what's the best way to get recruited at Young? Thanks. Love watching videos.
Best way to get recruited. Ball out. Make plays.
Be good.
Be good. Be a good teammate. Because they ask everyone.
Did you see that Sam Laporta interview that came out yesterday?
No.
An interview from like the draft or the combine with him and Dan Campbell interviewing him. Kind of nice. It's like a masterclass in like confidence, but not cocky.
I gotta watch it.
I think I sent it to the group. I'll send it again.
Resend.
Confident, not cocky.
Yeah, you gotta make plays. That's how you get recruited.
Work on your craft.
Work on your craft.
Boom. That's the same answer for all of these. Last one here.
Hey, Jules. My name is Katie, and I heard you're fixing problems. You're giving out advice. So I wanted to know if you had any advice for me. I'm leaving for spring break in 2 days. I'm going to Miami with my friends. This is my first spring break trip ever, and I'm super nervous. So if you have any pre-game rituals you could share with me or anything like that to ease my nerves, I would really appreciate it. Have a great day, and thank you so much.
Pre-game ritual for spring break. I've never been on a spring break like that. We had spring practice.
Just hydrate. Liquid
Yeah,
IV.
hydrate.
Sunscreen.
And remember, have fun.
Simple.
Spring break.
Well, there you go. That was somewhat helpful.
I hope people really don't need my advice.
Why don't you call Stavvy's podcast? They might help you out better than us.
Call Stav's. Stavvy's World. And that was the Chill Zone. Thanks to our favorite beer, Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/GWN. Celebrate responsibly. It tastes so good when it hits your lips. Well, what a game. Thanks again to Stav. And that's been another episode of Games with Names. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Comment a game you want us to do. And remember,
rate and review.
And leave us a 5-star review on Spotify while you're there. Remember to follow Games with Names on Instagram, YouTube, X, TikTok, and Snapchat. Leave a comment on the YouTube full episode, guys. We'll read the best ones on future episodes.
Yeah, the premieres are fun. Be in the premieres. Jack goes off. We're in there. Sometimes they're in there. Check them out. Leave a comment. They're great.
Leave a message on the old hotline at 424-291-2290. We'll see you guys next week. Games with Names is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.